Hello, I'm Tiana,
And I'm Neil.
and today we're going to be explaining the secrets of electric vehicles and why they aren't as green as they seem.
Are new electric and hybrid vehicles really as good for the environment compared to the past 140 years of gasoline powered cars? Who knows?
Since 1885, the world has been driving gasoline-fueled vehicles. Obviously, they did not look like this back in 1885. Gasoline-powered cars are a major contributor to air pollution, climate change, and emitting large amounts of carbon dioxide. There we go, gas-powered car. So they emit a lot of harmful pollutants that kill air quality and public health. Obviously, as you can see, this is all because of the carbon cars, all the clouds, all the bad air quality. Definitely not because it's about to rain. And they also rely on fossil fuels, which are finite and mined through environmentally damaging processes. The manufacturing of gas cars involves a wide range of materials, including steel and aluminum for the outside and the frame of the body, and then plastic and glass for the inside, and then the electronic system, and then obviously rubber for the tires, which are also all included in electric vehicles. Let's keep that in mind. But they also use various rare earth elements and metals for components like catalytic converters and the electronic system. This production process is energy intensive and adds a major amount of environmental impact of gasoline cars. Gasoline cars are environmentally harmful because they emit a lot of greenhouse gases and air pollutants. And yes, not that great. But do we know if EVs are worse? We'll find out. A lithium-ion battery is a type of rechargeable battery used in technology like phones, laptops, and now electric cars. It works by moving tiny lithium ions back and forth inside the battery. So here you can see the white and red are the lithium ions. This battery is fully charged, and then once it's in use, they're going to be moving back and forth, going back to this side, waiting for it to be charged again. So this is where they store the energy as well. So this battery, so the lithium ion batteries, they can be used as many times as you like, which is why they are rechargeable. But after a lot of use, they wear down and they get weaker, and they can't hold as much power as they used to, which causes them to be less efficient. Such just like your phone, when you buy a new phone, the battery's amazing, but once you use it after a few years, it seems that you have to charge your battery more and more to keep it going. This is exactly like oh my goodness, sorry. This this is the battery becoming less efficient because you use it more, it becomes weaker, just like electric vehicles. The more you drive it, the more you use the battery, the less efficient it will be. So you can't drive as far as distances, and the battery capacity becomes weaker. So it just makes it less efficient overall. So once electric cars are finished and they need to be recycled, only 5% of the battery gets recycled, and the rest is thrown away, which has already implemented 8 million tons of waste. Electric cars are often seen as a greener alternative to traditional powered vehicles, but their manufacturing process can have a significant environmental impact. Manufacturing an electric car, especially its lithium-ion battery, needs a large amount of raw materials such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel. These elements are obtained through mining processes that are often result in habitat destruction, water pollution, and high carbon emissions. Additionally, the manufacturing process for electric vehicles involves more energy-intensive procedures compared to manufacturing carbon cars because of how difficult the battery is to produce. Many of these processes rely on fossil fuels, mainly in countries where renewable energy is not widely used. When manufacturing electric cars, it actually produces 60% more carbon than manufacturing a gas car. Using these fossil fuels, it's defeating the point of electric vehicles and their sustainability. As a, as a result, while electric cars may produce fewer emissions during their use, the environmental cost of producing them, especially the batteries, can be very high, and it causes a lot more concern about their overall sustainability. These batteries are also wear down so much faster than gas cars, as I said before. So you need to produce more, causing even more manufacturing to happen and causing even more pollution to the environment.
So, now that we've spoken about electric cars, this is a hybrid, and it's pretty much an electric car. Anyway, so now that we've spoken about electric cars and them being the alternatives to gas cars, let's talk about the alternatives to the alternative, being biofuel. Now, there are three types of biofuel. There's Gen 1, 2, and 3. Now, these are made from materials like corn, algae, and sawdust. And the way they produce gas for the cars we drive is by producing ethanol, which is the main ingredient in gas we use. There's a couple other stuff, but ethanol is the main. Anyway, the way this is done is by using these materials as fuel themselves, but not to fuel cars, to fuel yeast. Because yeast and bacteria, when deprived of O2 through a type of anaerobic respiration, produces ethanol itself as a byproduct, and then we take that produced ethanol, refine it to be used in cars. The only drawback to these options is they take up a lot of space to actually grow crops, because it's corn and sugarcane type stuff, and they're not the most efficient in actually turning that, like corn, to ethanol. But there is an alternative to this, like using waste instead of something that needs to be grown in a big crop, like sawdust left over from making like timber for homes. Anyway, that's biofuel. There is another type of zero emission fuel. This is called carbon capture, and it's a technology Porsche has recently invented. And this is pretty much when they take carbon from the atmosphere and they take that and they use it to create ethanol. Now, how they do this is with a giant fan that sucks the carbon infested air through a bunch of heated filters to separate the carbon from it, and then releasing the now carbon-free air back into the atmosphere. Basically, it's basically a giant metal tree. And now that they have carbon, they just need hydrogen, and they get this through hydrolysis, taking a big tub of water, sending all electricity through it to separate the hydrogen from the oxygen. Now, they pretty much take the hydrogen and the carbon they have, and through esterification, they make carbon chains, or in other words, ethanol. So they use these carbon and hydrogens to produce ethanol itself, thus taking the carbon from the air through all this cool science stuff, making it into gas that gets burned and released back up into the air to complete the cycle. Now, these plants do use a good amount of energy to make this happen, and to make sure they aren't using fossil fuels to power a green fuel plant, they use green alternatives like wind. These plants will tend to have wind turbines set up to power the plant. Now, these alternatives, the carbon capture and the biofuel, are expensive, but just like electric cars were expensive, the more popular they get, the cheaper they should become. And there are the alternatives to the alternatives.
This is our final straw.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Electric vehicles suck. They're not as cool as they seem.
Hybrids are much better.
Mm-hmm.
Better option. We got carbon capture. Porsche's carbon capture. That's not where it's a little too expensive right now. It needs to come down in price a bit. But once it comes down in price, it will be the better option.
Boom.
Yeah, but for at the moment, hybrids are the best option with their safer battery. They're cheaper, safer batteries because of the temperature extreme. Don't forget about that. So, oh, and the metals they use are less harmful to the environment.
Yep. Switch to alternatives. No more EV. No more Cybertrucks.
Cybertrucks can suck it.
Thanks for watching.